Well, Joe, October 4th, 2014. Man, dude, what a great show that we had today.
You better believe it, PK. All the energy in the world, all the best wrestlers in the world, and of course the best announcer in the world, me. No, me.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about, PK, and all those ditch diggers out there know it.
Well, Joe, I'll tell you something. Great show leading up to exFEARience. You know, our big event towards the end of the year. And I'll tell you something, man. We've got some great matches forming up. But first off, tonight we start off with a Generations Champion title defense by Keith Cage versus Jimmy Lee.
That's right, Keith Cage, that wannabe champion. I tell you something, that 120-pound sack of no good whatever, I'll tell you something, he's not worth being called a champion.
Well, Joe, I'll tell you something. He's definitely got a big target on his back, and he was holding his own against Jimmy Lee until, of course, the backstabber, Will Caution.
The exceptional Will Caution.
You see how I get the two mixed up.
Oh, shut up, PK. The point is, Keith Cage should be thanking Will Caution because he came in and jumped him, and therefore Jimmy Lee, he got disqualified.
Joe, I'll tell you something, though. There was something real interesting, and what was the most interesting thing was to see Jimmy Lee get really upset and go after Will Caution.
Yeah, well, you know, understandably so. Jimmy Lee had a chance at becoming the next generation's champion, and Will Caution did cheat him out of it. So I'd be pretty upset, too.
Well, Joe, I'll tell you something. In your immortal words, a win is a win. Well, then we had Ken O'Sullivan versus Hardworking Hollywood.
That's right, my prodigal son, Hardworking Hollywood. You know, like I said, you got to work smart, not hard. And don't worry, Mr. Hollywood. 20 of my best lawyers are working on your case. You will come back to Bel Air before.
Well, Joe, in your case, you don't work hard or smart. Anyway,
shut up, PK.
So Hardworking Hollywood goes for his finishing maneuver, the ditch digger, but unfortunately, Ken O'Sullivan saw it coming, and he hit him with the Luck of the Irish, and he got the pin, 1, 2, 3.
That's right, I'll tell you something. Ken O'Sullivan's going to be coming back from Ireland before you know it to get that title from Keith Cage. And mark my words.
And that's what he announced. He announced his intention of going after the Generations Championship.
That's right, Keith Cage. You better watch out because that little dangerous Irishman is coming after you.
Well, then we had Will Caution versus the Masked Marauder. Man, it was a very physical match. Will Caution was definitely much larger than the Masked Marauder, but I was impressed on how well he held his own against him.
Yeah, well, it's like I said, the Masked Marauder. I don't care about that Mexican melt.
Joe, he's from New Mexico.
New Mexico, Old Mexico, who cares, PK? The point is, the exceptional Will Caution, he did damage on that kid. He doesn't deserve to be in the ring, and he needs to get on that next donkey back to New Mexico where he can play guitar on the streets and sell chiclets.
Well, Joe, I'll tell you this much. When Will Caution hit him with the face buster, that was the end, and it was a victory for Will Caution.
And a quick win at that.
It wasn't quick, but it was a well-earned victory. I'll give you that. Well, then we had the Highlander, Johnnie Walker, who came out with the commissioner, and he was like, hey, I want to go against Jack Stryker.
That's right.
And all of a sudden, who comes and attacks him from behind? Stryker, Jack's older brother.
That's right. So glad to see Ace back in action. Where else can you find a man that is just as intimidating, just as unpredictable, and just as devastating as Stryker? You
right
look in his eyes and you're automatically intimidated.
Well, Joe, look to your right and you'll see that man as well. Well, anyways, so it was a great match, and Joe, the Highlander, hits him with his finishing maneuver called the Haggis Hanger and gets the pin on Stryker. So, welcome back, Stryker, but don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you on the way out.
Oh, stop it, PK. Ace is back to stay, and don't you worry, he'll be back with a vengeance before you know it.
Well, Joe, speaking of that, we've got the Highlander, Johnnie Walker, here with us today in the studio.
PK?
Sir?
Johnnie Walker, welcome from the Highlands. Welcome back from Scotland.
The Haggis what?
The Haggis Hanger.
I love it. I love it. I was going to call it the Highland Swing. Haggis Hanger works for me.
Thank you.
This goes out to the commissioner. Daniels suspends the man Jack Stryker, right? He suspends him for pawning the belt. And then he tells me, oh, but I'm going to give you a match. And he has the Ultimate Champion, Alex Decker, jump me from behind, beat me with a belt, beat me almost senseless outside the ring, throw me in for the bell ring, gets the pin, 1, 2, 3. I've been out of the hospital a week at this time, right?
Correct.
So then I come back in here and I'm expecting to get Jack Stryker. I've already told him, I don't care about the belt. I want Stryker. So he gives me Stryker. And again, just like this guy, jumps him from behind. Right on my back, hits me from behind. He's supposed to be on the camera, Joe.
Right, yeah, I'm listening.
Right?
Right.
And he attacked me from behind like a coward. Right?
Well, I mean, it's it's your match. You give the call. I'm just saying. He took advantage of you looking the other way. Yes.
The only time he has conviction is when he reads the word out loud in the newspaper.
Oh, stop it, PK.
On occasion.
All right.
What?
So that's twice. So I'm going to say this. I don't care about the title. It's like the icing on the cake. I don't care about Alex Decker jumping me from behind. A Stryker, if he gets out of the hospital and survives the haggis hanger, because it was nasty. If he survives it, I don't care about that. At exFEARience, I will have Jack Stryker. I don't care if he's suspended. I don't care if they have to drag him out from the hole he's hiding in. I'll have Jack Stryker, or I'm going to get out of the ring. I'm going to take Commissioner Daniels. I'm going to pretend like he's Jack Stryker, and I'm going to put him in the hospital. I don't care about the title. I want Jack Stryker. Commissioner, make it happen. If it doesn't, mark my words as my witnesses. I'm going to beat Daniels instead.
Well, I personally hope you get your hands on Jack Stryker. When he insulted your heritage the way he did, I'd like to see that come to fruition.
Highlander, I gotta say, Johnnie Walker, I appreciate your intensity, but what do you say? I mean, he's our commissioner. He's the boss.
Well, then I'm going to beat the boss. You better let him know. All your attorneys, isn't he the owner or something?
Yeah, something like 20 attorneys.
Get him there. Jack Stryker, this is not over.
That's right.
exFEARience, you're going down.
Wow, I tell you something.
Strong words there by the Highlander, Johnnie Walker.
So don't worry. No, I'm gonna do some moving and shaking here, PK. I'm gonna make sure that that's done. Since I run this show, since I'm the owner of the OSWA, and since I pay all those guys very well.
Well, Joe, once again, you didn't take your medication that regulates your delusions of grandeur.
Oh, shut up!
Anyways,
PK.
then we had Lane Cross versus Bobby Lee. Lane Cross was not excited to face Bobby Lee. They're both from South Carolina, but apparently one's a little more South Carolinian than the other.
Well, obviously, Lane Cross, you got this man, this experienced wrestler, going to go up against this hillbilly in a pink shirt. What do you expect?
I expect that he was actually respecting the Awareness for Cancer Month.
I thought he escaped from Maricopa County Prison. That's what I thought. And I'll tell you something. That hillbilly, that no-good, toothless wonder, he needs to go back to his hay baling whatever farm and just...
Joe, I can't believe you're talking about Lane Cross that way. But anyways,
No, I'm talking about... Well,
so Lane Cross,
PK.
he did wind up getting the victory. He hit Bobby Lee with a super kick, knocking out his teeth, and he gets the pin.
Knocking out his tooth. That's right, Lane Cross, bright future. I'm so glad he's here. And all you ditch diggers and can collectors out there, be lucky, because when you're out there doing your 9-to-5 ham and egg job, you'll be able to brag to your coworkers about the great Lane Cross.
Well, Joe, then we had your favorite wrestler, Adrian Phillips, versus the White Knight.
Who cares about Wilson Phillips? Let me tell you something, PK. That Phillips guy, he did a pretty good job against the White Knight, I'll admit it. But let's face it, that match, definitely a different pace than all the other matches tonight. More cerebral.
It definitely was, and I think it threw Adrian Phillips off a little bit because he couldn't quite grasp where the White Knight was coming from. And when he went off the top rope to try to get that final move on the White Knight, the White Knight basically wound up reversing on him and getting him into suplex for the pin. You could definitely see Adrian Phillips was frustrated. And even though the White Knight wears a mask and you couldn't see his face, you can tell by his body language he was definitely disappointed that match took as long as it did.
Yeah, I'll admit it, PK. I'll admit it. Phillips gave him a good fight. But you know what? I think the more of the White Knight that we see, the more impressed that we're all going to be.
Well, Joe, then we had, for me, it was the biggest surprise of the night. Taco, who we haven't seen in a while, he comes out to wrestle. You hear his music, the fans are all excited.
Yeah.
Then out of nowhere, Rod Bolt attacks Taco. Two guys that I never thought I'd ever see in the ring together.
That's right, and I'll tell you something, Rod Bolt, he should be offended that the OSWA would put him up against that overgrown Tijuana sewer rat.
Well, Joe, I'll tell you something, man. They're evenly sized, evenly matched, and they got about pretty much the same skill level. But Rod Bolt, he held on to Taco in a crossface for over a 5 count while he held the rope. Then the ref had to break him up. He pushed the ref. The ref made the right call. Well, then he and his lawyer, Rod Bolt's lawyer, attack Taco. And then when they're done attacking Taco, who comes out? Lane Cross. He then attacks Taco.
That's right.
And then he says, hey, I want to get a shot at Curtis Coleman. And I just couldn't believe it. He comes in, he attacks him, he's already down. I mean, Lane Cross, he is who he is, but I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something, Lane Cross, I'm more impressed with him now that he did that. And did you see that coast to coast? that where he went from one side of the ring to the other.
The coast-to-coast drop kick is the word you're looking for.
I know what it is, PK.
Are you sure?
Yes, I was just giving you a chance to say it. Give you a little time in the spotlight.
Well, Joe, thank you for letting me show off my knowledge and to show that you have little. Anyways,
will you shut
then
up,
our last
PK?
match, folks, our main event was the Tag Team Specialists and Chad Silva versus the Dominion and Alex Diamond Decker. Man, and what a match.
That was the most highly energized match that I've ever seen in the world of professional wrestling. There are very few matches that get that much energy and crowd audience involvement in it. And I'll tell you something, I love the way it ended. Just pure pandemonium in the ring.
I mean, Joe, the locker room empties out. I mean, basically, you know, Chad Silva, he attacks the younger brother, Alex Diamond Decker. The tag team specialists, they're all attacking the Dominion. Then all of a sudden, it's just, you know, the referees all get knocked out. Then the locker room comes to empty it out. And Joe, I'll tell you something, it was a great lead up to exFEARience, because exFEARience is our next show.
That's right.
And all the players that are going to be at exFEARience were in that ring trying to either fight or stop the fight.
That's right. This next exFEARience, bigger, badder, and better than last year. And most important of all, nobody's going to beat me up and stuff me into a casket like they did last year.
Ooh, Joe, never say never.
Shut up, PK.
Well, folks, I'll tell you something. We look forward to being back here in 2 weeks to bring you up to date on the happenings at exFEARience. All the major titles are going to be on the line. You can follow us at facebook.com/OSWA Entertainment, OSWAentertainment.com as well. Follow us on Twitter with the handle OSWA Entertainment. I'm PK. This is my brother Joe. We appreciate our fans, and please continue to support us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.